Okay. Are we recording? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome to tonight's team call, you guys, everybody who could make it live and whoever's watching the replay. Janice and I just have some brief but probably helpful and clear notes for you guys tonight on how to connect with people in a way that's going to accurately portray your vision for what you want to be doing with this business. But first, we have a couple of things to cover. First, I want to just kind of open us up with a word about motivation. For anybody who knows me, I talk about motivation a lot. It is not a feeling. It is an actual tangible reason behind what you're doing. But I recently finished listening to the book, The Prosperous Coach, and I highly recommend it. And I'm going to pull it up so I can tell you who wrote it while I talk through this. But at one point in time, he talks about how, there are always those days where you just don't feel it. You're not feeling it. You don't feel like doing your job. You kind of start to lose faith in your business. You're just not feeling that excitement. And for whatever it's worth, we call it burnout. We call it funk. We call it just, not feeling motivated. And he likens, it started playing. He likens this to like a writer who might have writer's block. And this is my language, and honesty really resonates with me. And he says, but let's take another profession. Let's take a truck driver. Have you ever heard a truck driver say he's got trucker's block? No. Do you want to know why? Because he always has a plan. He has a destination, he has a route, he has a drop-off list, and he has an obligation to fulfill for the day. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't feel like it or not. He has a strategic course of action to follow through on. And that's what's missing most of the time when those of us who are in the more like emotional, service-driven, maker type professions, we don't always implement that discipline of having a daily plan. And so we preach the vitals, but in reality, what the 4 vital behaviors are, they're a structure for us to engage in order to be able to move ourselves forward, even if we don't feel like it, because we are human and emotions are fleeting and they're going to come and go. And we are bound to have those days where we just don't feel like it, or we feel discouraged, or rejection has gotten to us, whatever it might be. That's going to happen. We're human. So making sure that we have a plan in place is what's going to get us to the next step. That's what's going to propel us forward, even if we don't feel like it. That's what's going to help us maintain control over our emotions instead of letting our emotions drive us. So I really loved that. It hit me, it motivated me, and it resonated with me. And I've caught myself multiple times going, okay, are you a trucker? Do you have trucker's block? Like, no, you don't. So just keep going. And it is by Rich Litvin and Steve Chandler. And if you get the audiobook, Steve has, I think it's Steve, it might be Rich, I don't know. He has this really adorable English accent. He sounds like Jude Law, and I love it. So it's fun. But on that note, speaking of the vitals and speaking of the strategic structure of the business that we're working that helps us know when we're moving forward or not, I do have some shout outs to make. We're really early in March. I say really early, but I guess we're about a third of the way through. Tomorrow's the 10th already. And we do have some life changers already on both Team Tenacity and Team Award. Team Tenacity, Janice is sitting at Success Club 6. Cynthia F. And which one? I don't know which one. Cynthia, that's F. I'm sorry. Flores, right? And Cynthia M. are both at Success Club 4, so high fives to you guys. And then over on Team Award, Yada, Marsak, Rachel Carter, and Brittany Brown all have 2 Success Club points, all for bringing on new coaches. So I wanted to highlight that. That's super cool. I don't know what you guys' points are for. Either way, it's a life. And I am currently sitting at Success Club 10. So far, so good. That's awesome. I just wanted to highlight that really quickly. Make sure we knew that those were lives that are being changed and we believe the best for them. Okay, that being said, Janice and I are just going to cover 2 specific ways that are really, really, really effective for conveying your message and connecting with your audience. And I'm going to start and she's going to finish. And these are both things that have come up as either things we need to be doing or things we're interested in doing. I've gotten these questions multiple times, and I know Janice has as well. So hopefully this information is super helpful for you. I'm going to kick it off by starting to talk about the number one way that you can expand your network and your reach and get your message heard. Number one way, bar none, you can probably guess it, Facebook Live. And the reason for that is none other than connection, actual, tangible connection. Because if you were watching this video right now, you might pull a few points out from me, but you're not going to feel like you're connecting with me. But because we're on live with one another, like I see your facial expressions when I make a comment, and that helps me adjust the direction of my enthusiasm or where I'm talking or whatever. It helps us respond to one another. So likewise on Facebook Live, when someone writes a comment on your video, you know whether or not you're headed in the right direction, or if you need to modify your language, or if you need to modify your message or whatever. You're able to cater to the people a little bit more or re-clarify what you're saying. It helps you be more real and more honest. And it helps them feel like they're actually getting a piece of you, and just instead of just a rehearsed message, if that makes sense. So without going into the statistics or the studies or anything like that, just know that Facebook Live is the number one way to effectively connect with your audience. These are some key things for you to know and to do, and how to help you do them better and do them more often. The number one thing you want to know is that frequency and consistency is super important when it comes to Facebook. This is an algorithm thing. When people, I think I've said this before so many times, but if you do a Facebook Live and it's like your first one and you have like 2 viewers, and then it drops to 1 and you're like watching that number, and then you get so bummed out because nobody saw your stuff and nobody responded to you and you want to cry in the corner. That's not personal. And I know it feels so personal. It's like, oh my gosh, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. No. That's Facebook science. And this is the first time you've ever done a live video. So they're like, who's this chick? We're not going to push her in the feed yet, right? So you have to keep doing it. So they go, oh, she's going to come to class every day. She's going to turn in her homework every day. So we're going to give her the red sticker of the apple every day on her chart. Like, that's Facebook. That's how they do things. So the more you do it, the more people will see your stuff. The more you do it, the more Facebook will push you into the newsfeed. There's this thing called organic reach. And so you don't have to pay for a Facebook ad to get your stuff seen. The more consistent you are, the more it's going to be pushed out there organically. Facebook ads is another topic and something that can be helpful long term. So you have about 10 seconds to capture people's attention. And that's going to be super important because you guys know, we all know, if you're scrolling Facebook, you're going to stop and watch the video based on one of 2 things. The presentation of the person, and I mean everything from facial expressions to like dress to whatever. That's what's going to draw you in immediately. So within 10 seconds, that's got to be enough right there. So you don't want to get on Facebook Live and be like, I think some people are on. I'm just going to wait a minute. I'm going to wait until people get on. Like, that's not exciting. I'm not going to stay and watch you. Peace out, right? The second thing, and I'm going to get to this in a second, is, have you guys seen those videos where you can see the captions at the bottom? And so you don't even have to click on it and make the sound. You can like read the video as it's going. That's the second thing, is being able to convey your message in that split second of time to make them want to turn their head back and look back at you. So they say that's about 10 to 30 seconds. So yeah, there's a little bit of prep and planning that needs to go into a Facebook Live. And that, Janice and I were just talking about this the other day, that actually is the thing that deters me. I don't feel like writing out a script. I don't feel like planning out my points, so I'm just not going to do it. And that's a denial, and that's a defense mechanism, and that's an excuse. So we need to plan a little bit, and this is why. Because you want to start your broadcast with a strong, confident statement. And that can be one of several things. It can be telling them being your audience, not the people who are watching necessarily, but whoever your audience is, make sure you're clear on that. If your audience is women who need to lose weight, know that. If your audience is homeschool moms, know that. If your audience is military wives, Know that. Talk to that person. And you want to highlight their problem and then tell them how you're going to give them some solutions for it, like right out the gate. Are you tired of being sick and tired? Let me tell you how I got my energy back. Boom, just like that. And the second way is to announce that you have super exciting news. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So maybe you don't always use this one. But if everybody's in different places, but this could be that, oh my gosh, you're going to want to stick around for this because at the end of this live video, I'm going to give away bleh, or I'm going to tell you what my next challenge group is, or I'm going to tell you what exciting opportunities are. You want to give them that excitement right away so that they're like, oh, well, I want to know what that is, you know? And then the third way is to launch into telling a story. And I think we can all do this. And I think one of the things that keeps us from doing this is that we have a mindset hold up, you know, we go, nothing about my life is important. Nothing about my life is interesting. So what would I talk about? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Someone somewhere needs to know how your day went because they had a very similar day and they need to resonate with that. So turning your day, turning your history, turning your story, turning your weight loss journey, turning your health journey, your battle with depression, whatever it is, turning that into a story and then breadcrumbing that, starting it off with, you know, when I was little, this is what I thought and believed, blah, 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 blah. What I found is blah, 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 you know, being able to, I'm trying to tell you a story. Someone somewhere wants to listen to that. And as soon as they hear that, that's their catch. Okay. So just brief recap, start your broadcast with a strong, assertive, confident statement that can be either through identifying a problem and your solution for their problem by announcing that you have a super exciting something at the end of the broadcast or by launching a story right away. While you're in a live video, I want you to recognize that you have expertise, whatever that means to you. You have expertise in something. You are the expert at being you. So you want to share your expertise in this video so that people start to see that. But you also want to recognize that this isn't the only time that you have these people. This isn't a weekend seminar where you have to like get everything out at once. This is an opportunity for you to start sharing because you're going to do another live video tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And you can breadcrumb your story out. Pieces of your story will hit different people at different times, and they're gonna want to go back and find other videos of yours. So don't feel like you have to tell your whole story in a live video and be weird and awkward and uncomfortable. It's not necessary. Okay. Make sure that you are telling people what you are telling them, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to do a live video about how I hate it when I get a notification that my husband has tagged me in a Facebook post in the middle. I'm like, well, what is that? Anyways, if I'm going to do a Facebook Live about how to stay motivated, right? I talk about motivation a lot. That's how I started this video. I want to tell you multiple times in different ways while I'm talking, hey, this is how we stay motivated. Hey, remember, motivation is not a feeling. It's a reason behind what we're doing. Like, I'm going to restate the reason, the purpose behind my video multiple times throughout the video. That way people don't get lost. They don't get tired of it. They don't forget. And they're like, what is she talking about? I've completely lost her, right? No, I've got to remind you why I'm talking to you. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there with regards to actual content and move on to why and how and what you can do with these videos. So the biggest thing, and this is really kind of starting to segue into Janice's topic a little bit, the biggest thing is that you can repurpose these live videos for so much. First of all, there is a way to go live on your laptop or your desktop, but I don't know how to do it yet, so we're not going there. Most of the time, you're going to be going live from your device. When you click done, it's giving you the option to save that video to your phone. So not only is it going uploaded onto the internet where you're going to be able to figure out a way to get it off if you ever need it again, but you're also given the option to put it on your device. From there, you can upload that video to YouTube. So create a YouTube channel if you don't have one. It does not matter that you're just putting the same stuff up there. It doesn't matter. Get your stuff on the internet. But you can also create transcripts. So if you there are ways to do this. And what I want you to do, if you want this information, then Janice and I will try and put all the resources up under the replay when we post the recording. But there are some blog articles and some YouTube videos that teach you how to get transcriptions for your videos. So every word you've said is now a document. You can pull Facebook posts from that. You can create shorter posts. You can create graphics with quotes from things that you've said. You are important, and what you say needs to be said out loud. So all of these quotes that we pull off the internet from, Grant Cardone and Chalene Johnson and all this stuff, that's great. But what about the stuff you say? Create a graphic that reflects your brand with your words on it. And you don't have to do the extra work by trying to remember what you talk about. You can go straight to the transcripts from your videos and pull that stuff. And then just a couple of other things. Make sure you always have a call to action. I sometimes forget this, but towards the end of your video, it's, hey, comment below if you want to know more, or hey, comment below if blah, 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 this has ever happened to you. Always give them a reason to engage. Like this video. Share this video if you know someone who needs to hear this. Give them that reason to push it out into the internet for you. And last two tips. I've said this already, but I think it's just so super important. Get clear on who you're talking to, and no matter who is watching your video, talk to the person that you were meant to be talking to. That's how they're going to hear it. That's how they're going to connect, right? So just, and there are plenty of workshops and things out there you can do on, defining your audience and figuring out who your niche is and things like that. But just get clear on that and speak to that person. And the best way that I can tell you to do that is to talk to who you used to be, because you got where you are because you went through what you went through. And you know that because of what you went through, that's what your service is to people. That's what you're going to be able to connect with people on. So talk to who you used to be. And then the very last thing, and this is where we segue, is that, and I steal this from Janice. This is Janice's number one tip for live video. Do a brain dump. The biggest problem is always I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. Create a list. We all have notebooks. We all have legal pads. Take it out and start a running list. You can create a Word document or a Google Doc, and just start typing out things. You created 4 awesome lunches for your kids last week. Oh, healthy lunches for kids. That's a topic for live video. Oh, ways to keep my hair out of my face during my workout. Okay, that's a topic for live video. Whatever comes across your mind, just go put it on that list. And that way, when oh crap, I haven't done a live video this week, go look at your list, pull a topic, create 3 clear points, dive into it. Okay? So my challenge to us all, it's Thursday, by next Wednesday, that we've all gone live. Okay? That's my challenge. And we're going to make sure to write that in bold letters on the replay. And I'm going to toss it to Janice, because now she's going to cover what comes next.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love how she's talking about how you can repurpose those, because not only for tweets and Facebook posts, you can repurpose that transcribed video right into a blog. So if you don't have anything to write about yet, maybe you're better at speaking what you want to say. And so I've even thought about doing this, doing a Zoom call by myself and just talking to myself, talking it out, because I'm better at talking. And when I can ramble, some of the best stuff comes out. At least I think so. And so I could even just do a transcribe, and I don't know how to do it, but YouTube does it, and it's for free. So you don't even have to pay someone to transcribe it. So Amanda kind of knows, and I'm sure we can find the link of where to go to get it done or learn how to do it. So, blogging, I know, I'm so glad Cammie's on here, because her question was, I need some one-on-one, just tell me how to start blogging. And what I love about blogging is that it's a great way for you to just journal. Really, it's just a great way to start learning how to tell your story. If you haven't really been posting on Facebook much, what you can do is blog and then kind of share that to Facebook. Those blogs you can share straight to Facebook, even if you don't have a following of people that are watching your blogs yet, because that sometimes can take some time. So here's my notes so I stay on topic. Blogging is a personal outlet without SEO, meaning that's a big word for making sure that you're within Google and you're you're able to be found, and you're not on WordPress and all of these other things you might have to pay for. So maybe you're using a free blog. It will be hard to just organically find, like, have people reach your stuff, right? But you can always share it. So if you're just using it as an outlet, right, then you're fine. You can just go use a free blog. And what's great about a free blog is later on you can just transfer that content to a paid WordPress or website later. I mean, you can transfer this stuff. Just get started. Don't think you need a big website to start writing or journaling or starting to tell your story through typing it out on a blog. Let's see. So it might take a while to create an actual following on a free blog, but that's okay. Blog is a great way to strategize. And this is some of the stuff is exactly what Amanda wanted me to share with everybody, kind of her takeaway. She's been blogging a lot longer than I have, so I'm glad that she put her input into the blogging side of it. Because when you think about the blogs, it's just like live video. You need a brain dump, and you need to know what those topics are. And so you can get these topics together in a blog, and then again, it could trigger things to go live about. Like, take this one section out of your blog and go live. Take this one section and make it a tweet. Take this one section out of your blog again and have your own quote on a picture, right? So you're going to use your blog strategically. Blogs are a great way to begin sharing your story. I said that. You can always repurpose your blogs. We talked about that. Tweets, Facebook posts, Instagram photos, yada, yada. Blogs can be free, and that's Blogspot. Now, I noticed when I signed up for my Blogspot, it will link it to the Google Hangouts. All right, we got 10 minutes. So it asks you if you want to use a Blogspot or if you want to use the Google Hangout or Google Plus or whatever that's called now. Google has everything. I just chose the Google thing because at least it syncs to Google Hangouts or the social media outlet of Google. Then you have your Google Docs. I'm sure somehow that all links up to. It's free. Just use it. But either one will work. And then when you get in there, you get to customize it. They have templates already there for you to choose. If you're just like, I want something simple, I don't want to think about this, I want that one. Oh, I don't like that top banner, I can go into customize it and just change the top banner. Or you can get really fun and just go to customize the whole thing. I sat there for like almost 2 or 3 hours just trying to customize it. I went to Pinterest to find some colors that I wanted to use. And so you can play with it as much as you want, but their customized ones are going to be clean. They're going to be more aesthetically pleasing, but simple. And simple's not boring. Simple sometimes makes it easier for people to follow you. So my tips on the blogging was to keep them simple and neat. Sometimes I personally can get a little cluttery and overdone. So like right now my font is cursive, and I'm going to change that because it's not easy to read. So then you want to also make sure that you're using only 1 to 2 fonts in a blog. This is branding. You guys, you should find some fonts that you love and use it all the time. On every Instagram picture, I use the same editing so that it's branded. It looks the same every time. So you can do the same thing with your blogs. You can do the same thing with your Instagram posts. Use the same fonts and choose 2 to 3 fonts. Have your like signature pretty font, big, bold one, and then the font that you write everything up is one, and just keep it cohesive. And then that creates a brand, and everyone recognizes you from your blog to your Facebook post to your top banner pictures to your Instagram, whatever. I'm trying to do that now. I'm not perfect at it, but you can slowly, I didn't think about those things to begin with. So now I'm slowly learning how to do it and create some cohesiveness. And then also the same with colors. Try to pick 2 to 3 colors and keep them the same. So especially in your blog, you don't want too many different colors. You don't want like this paragraph red, this paragraph blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue. Just try to simplify it. And plus that's going to make your life easier as well because you'll overthink it. Don't overthink it. More people will read your stuff if it is good content and easy to read and pleasing to the eye. Let's see. And when you're doing blogs, think about your pictures. Same with Facebook posts. Think about your pictures. Like it takes me not even 30 seconds to edit my Instagram photo. So if you've ever seen a picture of my food, I literally use the exact same light. I place my plate in the same place every day with the light from the outside And if it's a little cloudy that day, there's a brightening font, like a brightening tool. And I use two, what are they called? Effects. I use two effects. And I do it the same way every single time. So play with one, find out what you like, and you want your food to look like, I want them to want to eat it off my phone, off their phone, not my phone. I want them to want to eat my food. So that's my brand. A part of my brand is the food that I eat. Gets them curious about me. They start conversations, and it creates engagement on my post. So when you use your blog, you can repurpose pictures that you've used off of Facebook into your blogs, but just make sure that they are pleasing to the eye. Let's see. Melanie Metro. She is top coach, right? And Success Leaves Clues. She has rocked blogging. So I will send you a link of a blog post that I watched a long time ago whenever I thought, I'll never blog. Blogging is not my thing. I'm not a writer. I don't write. Well, God has other plans. So now I need to go back and watch that video. So I found that video and I wanted to share that link with you. But there's so many people. Follow other people. Go look. Don't get lost in this, but think of people that you say, for instance, Cynthia really likes Fit and Funky. Go look at her blog. Go look at her website. Get some ideas. Look at 2 or 3, and then kind of create what you would like and a feel that you would like. If you have a signature color, use it, that kind of thing. I love tropical, so I went with that theme. But you can do whatever you want, and you can change it. It's not permanent. You can always rebrand yourself later. If you don't like it, you can change it. Another thing that you can think about long-term, or if you already know how to do this, or if you know someone that is doing this, you can make money off of blogs too. And I follow a lot of people that have, for instance, they're homeschoolers, and they use a type of homeschooling curriculum, and they'll have a link there. And if you use their link, they probably get a kickback. I know Shalene does it a lot with little gadgets that she uses for her phone, or recording this, or exercise equipment that. If you use her links, you can get money. So and then sometimes you can run ads on there. So it's another way to make residual income without actually having another business. So that's just something I threw in there as I was looking. Like she said, the brain dump thing for live videos, same thing with blogging. I will share a huge slew of PDFs from Coach Glitter's, what is it? I always get it wrong, the name of her thing. Lights, Camera, Branding. Yeah, thank you. I saw your lips moving. Lights, Camera, Branding. And so I started to just do the one with the brain dump. And I'm like, these are all good, because you can use them for your Facebook Live tips and tricks. And of course, she goes all the way down to how to do your makeup and all those things. I mean, you can take it as far as you want to go, but make sure it's just you. People want to see you. And we talk about being authentically you. This is another outlet for you to be you. And I do get, sometimes I'm super creative and I can write. And another great thing about blogging is you can schedule those blogs to go out. They don't have to go all out every day. Like I had like 3 that I wanted to write in 1 week, and I posted them all, and I should have waited like 1 each week or something so I could be more consistent. So, if you're just starting out doing something like that, blogging or live video, and you have those creative moments, that's where you need to have like a list where you're brain dumping, and you can go back to that same list and keep adding to it. Make sure you pin it somewhere where it's safe, because I had one and now I need to find it. Like the first time I did Lights, Camera, Branding, I did this brain dump that I'm sharing with you, and now I need to go find it, right? So we have to track our business. We have to track what goes on up here, and have a notebook next to you before you go to bed. Make sure that notebook's by your bed. Some of my best ideas come to me while I'm about to go to sleep, and I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. And sure enough, I've already forgot what it is. I mean, I've had great team names. I've had great blog post ideas. You sleep, it's not sleeping on it. You like lose it, So hopefully that helps. I know we won't really have any time for questions tonight, so we'll get this recording up for you guys. And then that way you guys can watch the recording if you need it. And then also all the links that we want to share with you will be underneath the recorded video link. And then you can always ask questions later based on this call. Okay, so write your questions down right now. I'm going to share one piece of personal development with you guys before we leave. And before I see the 1-minute countdown. Now I'm actually going to read it out of a book. This has been an aha moment for me. I went to a Bible study for Without Rival is the book that I don't have it in here, the book that I was doing. And then all of a sudden they started talking about this other book. So long story short, I have a tattoo on the back of my neck that stands for beautiful. And I have been like, I don't want to tell anybody what it stands for. And I forget about it. That's why I put it on the back of my neck. And I went in and I was very conceited at the time. I had a crazy rebellious lifestyle, and I did think I was all that in a bag of potato chips. And so I got the tattoo in those moments in my life. It's a story, right? Blog post for one. And the title of the book that they were talking about in this Bible study, because they had a guest speaker, was Beautiful. It says, it's okay to be beautiful. This book has inspired me in more than one way. It's crazy how God will use something that, like, I don't really do well when someone gives me, what's the word, like words of affirmation, or if someone is, you're so good. Yeah, compliments. I don't take compliments well. I'm learning. I am taking compliments well now. There we go. But I had to learn to. So it would make me squirm. And so this book is so amazing because, it's also like showed me how I could write a book one day. Just something that simple of how to take blog post and put it into a book. And I just thought that would go well with this call tonight, since we were talking about blogging and all that and sharing your story. And that's all it is little clips of her story. And it's okay to be beautiful. Heavenly whispers to a broken heart. And I think it was $10. And I think what I'm going to do is like pass this around to my team. Like I'll put it in the mail, you read it, then you send it to the next coach. Something like that. Cynthia, sound good, Cammie? But I'm going to read it real quick. Not how to, who to. We hear this all the time, not how to, but your want to, your why, all that. She says, sometimes we fall into the ditch of limited mentality. When this happens, there is always competition. We compete for whatever